Hi, this is Rad from MR Sportscars. In this episode of Diary of a Porsche Specialist, I'm going to look at the 987 Gen 2 Boxsters in detail and show you some of the differences that you can have just based on factory options. Now, all three of these cars are 987 Gen 2 Boxster S's. The silver one is a 2011. The Guards Red one is a 2011 as well, and the Basalt Black one is a 2009. But essentially they are built to the same specification, same engine, the 3.4 litre DFI flat six. Two of them are manuals, 6-speed manuals, and one of them is a 7-speed PDK semi-automatic box. Now, this first one is finished in platinum silver, which is a very, very striking silver when you see it in person. That one is Guards Red, and this one is Basalt Black Metallic, which is a metallic black with gold specks in it and everything, so that looks great as well. They've all covered a very similar mileage, so they've covered between, the lowest mileage is 50,000 miles, the highest mileage is just over 55. So very similar in terms of their lives so far. So there was quite a range of colours you could get with Boxster in, and as you can see looking at the three, it changes the look of them quite drastically, obviously having a different colour. But there's also other things like the wheels and things which I'll go into as well. I'll show you the full palette of colours from the Porsche brochure. So that will flash up now. And even the hoods could be different colours. Now all three of these have a black hood, which I've left open so you can see the interiors properly. So when we go through the options on the interiors, it's easier to see with the hoods down. But all three of these have got a black hood. But there were different colours available, which I'll show you now. So now very quickly, I can show you one of the other sort of external options, and that is the rollover bar. So this is in the standard sort of gunmetal metallic. This one was specified in Guards Red to match the paintwork. And the black one, I think also is in the standard, yeah, the metallic, the dark gunmetal metallic. But essentially you could have the rollover bar either in gloss black or to match the exterior paint, or I guess you could specify, say, the black one with a red rollover bar if you wanted to. Now going back to wheels, all three have a different optional wheel. Two of them have the same actually. So this is the 19-inch Sport Design wheel. This one also is the 19-inch Sport Design wheel, but it was specced with satin black spokes with the silver edge from the factory. So that changes the look. Even though it's the same style wheel, it completely changes how the car looks. And then the third one is fitted with the optional Turbo 2 3.8 lightweight alloy wheels. They're also 19-inch, but they're diamond finished. So this bit is a diamond finished edge, so diamond cut as some people call it, and then this is a metallic grey, and the inside's metallic grey as well. So they look very striking, but then so do the satin black ones as well. And it's nice to have that sort of silver edge to finish them off as well. Now all three would have come with the red LED tail lights, so they're all fitted there, and they also come with the rear parking sensors as standard, so all three have those as well. These two have got the standard exhaust. So the S comes with twin tailpipes, which are stainless steel, And the lower bumper also comes with these sort of vents that are, well, not vents, they're supposed to look like a sort of like a rear splitter. Now the black one was optioned with the sports exhaust. So there's the tips, there's the sensors, and there's the same lights. Was optioned with the sports exhaust, so that's got different tailpipes as a result, which are more polished, and they also have grooves on them where the standard exhaust ones don't. But going back to wheels, I'll just show you in terms of wheel designs, I'll just show you all the different options now of the different style wheels you could get on your Boxster S. Now that exhaust actually really does make a difference to how these cars sound, both on starter but also when they're running. I'll just show you by starting up the standard manual Boxster S, which is the red one, so the standard exhaust. They're all, I'm going to be starting them all from cold. Just find the right key. There we go. So they start quite loud, and then once they've heated up a bit, the sound does die down a little bit. I mean, it does sound great, even with the standard exhaust. I won't rev it. I don't like to rev it unless the car's heated up properly. Some people get in cars and rev them straight away, but I don't do that. So that's the standard exhaust. And then this is another manual Boxster S, which has the sports exhaust, so that's that button there. So it's got a raspier tone while the valves are open. I'll just open them up again. And that's me. You can hear it turning. I'll just do it on the outside just in case. So you heard that makes quite a big difference to the sound of the car. It makes a big difference throughout the whole rev range, in all honesty. So it can actually be retrofitted, so that's something to consider. If you really like a car but it doesn't have that sports exhaust, you can have it retrofitted, and it makes a big difference. You can even have that switch ordered in the center console so that it's switchable. Now on the outside, as standard, you got sort of like a black satin plastic finish front grills, which have the air conditioning condensers and the radiators behind those. You have daylight running lights here, there's a strip there. And then you also got silver, on the S you got silver side vents. Now you could specify for an extra cost to have them in gloss black, so this red one has got them in gloss black to complement the red and have a nice contrast to also match the wheels, so that was very nicely specced. You could also have these bits specced in silver, and there's a couple of other exterior body sort of additions, but that's the main one, to have these also done, the lower halves done in silver. And then that's essentially it on the outside. Then on the inside, there was a lot of customization you could do. So I'll start with the silver car here first. So this has got what are called the standard comfort seats. So they are a two-way electric, height adjustable, and they've got a handle at the front to adjust how far back they go. You could get them with a 12-way electric system with lumbar support, so it'd have extra switches, and all this would be electric rather than having a handle to adjust the height and how far forward and back it goes. One of the options you could have was have the headrests embossed, so they would have the Porsche crest on both the passenger and driver's side. So that's got that. And then interior colours as well. All three of these have got black leather interior, but you could specify different colours, and I'll show you some of those options now. Now this car, in terms of options, has the PCM3, so all three are equipped with this. So this is the optional Sat Nav system. I'll just show you that's how that works. So it fires up. So you've got a, I'll just let it load up. So you've got the map. It can be 3D or you can make it 2D, depending on what you prefer. There it is, bird's eye view. So there, it's 2D or 3D. There we go. It also has the phone, Bluetooth phone connectivity. This is also a touch screen. Obviously has a stereo, and it has as standard, it has a single CD changer. This car is equipped with Sound Package Plus, which is a 9-speaker system. It's amplified. It's the one level below the Bose, which is a 10-speaker amplified system with more power. It's also specced with the PDK box. So this is the semi-automatic box. So there's the shifter for it, which has got leather. And then it's also specced with the Sport Design steering wheel. I'll just show you the different options for steering wheels. The one steering wheel that people seem to really want with the PDK box is this Sport Design steering wheel, because it has the paddles to change gear. So they actually follow the steering wheel, and they're right there where you want them to be on a fast drive. This car's also got cruise control, so it's an extra stalk just there, which allows you to, and that can be retrofitted just like the steering wheel can as well. Now going back to this center console, heated seats are another option, which is a 2-stage system for both the passenger and the driver, and then the full climate control system, which was optional as well, has the temperature, and you can have full auto mode, so you just set the temperature and it determines where to put everything, or you can manually decide to control the fan speed and where it all goes. As standard, they all came with cup holders. Now this car's also got Sport Chrono Package Plus, which is this extra stopwatch here, but also with the PDK you would get Sport and Sport Plus buttons. So they would change the characteristics of how the car changed gear, but also how lively the throttle pedal is. And it would hold gears for longer. It would also change gears quicker depending on which mode you've got it in. The PDK system is also quite intuitive naturally, so if you are driving quite aggressively, it will change how it changes gear. But this sort of helps it determine even more, and actually does offer faster speeds in Sport and Sport Plus. Now this car has got the standard the mirror system, so there's no auto dimming lights here, and that will be also on these mirrors. They won't be auto dimming on the side mirrors either. As a result, that came as a package, and also there was a rain sensor which was normally bundled in with it. One of the other cars does have that, so I'll show you that. Now, if the car didn't have bows, it meant it got a centre storage area here, so just under the hood. So that is an extra bit of cubby space. Just going back to some of the PCM options, if you specified the audio interface, you've got this extra little section here with the USB a connector to connect to a 30, I think it's a 30-pin iPod plug, or the auxiliary, and so then there you would have the ability to play music from your phone, music from your iPod, or any other sort of media device straight into the stereo system. Now, from what I believe, all the cars in the UK came with the wind deflector kit. It is shown as an extra option, but I think they all came with it. So it's this honeycomb sort of section here, which they can pop out. So that's what it would look like. It would mean that you would get a bit more wind coming through the cabin when you're driving at speed. Then it came with a clear section, which again is also removable, so you can take that out. So you can have it quite sort of like open behind the drivers if you want to. Just make sure that's in properly. I don't want that popping out. So all three have that present. So there we go. There it is on the red one. Right, so I'll go over to the black car now and show you some of the options that this one has got that are a bit different. So immediately, this one has got the same black leather interior. It's got the same two-way electric comfort seats, but it wasn't specified with the crest, so you just have a plain headrest there. But it was specified with red belts. The platinum silver car had black belts, which was the standard. Now this car is a manual, so it has 6-speed gearbox there. Now this one has had a retrofitted aftermarket retrim of the steering wheel leather, the gearbox leather, and the handbrake leather. So it's got red stitching. That could be something you could have specified from the factory, but I know for a fact that this one was done after the car was built, just to refresh the inside. This has got the standard steering wheel, so you would have just the airbag, no controls on the steering wheel, but it is specified with the cruise control there. Now this car is specified with Bose, so it has Bose on the speakers, but also that centre section I was talking about doesn't have that sort of storage area. This is essentially the subwoofer, so there is a speaker in there. So you can't store stuff in that middle section at all. Actually, in fact, you don't have the sort of storage space there. You've got extra tweeters there. So that is that side. This one's also got the audio interface there. Now this car was also spec'd with PASM, so it has the switchable suspension. It also has Sport Chrono Package Plus, but because it's a manual box, it doesn't come with the Sport Plus button. It doesn't need it. It just has the Sport button, which just changes the throttle behaviour, because essentially you determine how fast you change gear in this car, so there's no need for the Sport Plus to sort of up the level of gear changes, because you essentially do that yourself. But it does have the PASM suspension, which is that button there, and it also has the switchable sports exhaust, which I explained earlier on. So that makes quite a big difference, because on the outside the car sits 10mm lower as a result of having that suspension set up. And then coming to the red car, this has got a lot of other options. So as I said, it's got that red there. It's also got the same red seat belts that the black car has, but this has the two-way electric hardback sport seats, so it has the same controls as the comfort seats, but the backs of the seats are a black plastic. The seats themselves have got much deeper bolsters on the base and also behind the back. This car was separately optioned with the crest, so you could have the crest in any optional seat, be it the standard seats or the hardback sport seats. Now immediately you'll see it has bows as well, so it has the bows there. It has a Guards Red center console, so essentially you could get the center console to match the exterior of any of the colours available at Porsche. Also, this gear surround is also a separate option to have that in Guards Red. Otherwise it would be, looking at this one, it would be silver. So that is the standard silver, which matches the trim around all the vents. But this one has had options for also all of this trim to be finished in Guards Red rather than the standard silver. And then talking about the mirrors, I mentioned the auto dimming mirrors. This is how you tell it's got the auto dimming mirrors. It has this light system here with the extra, it has a sensor here and then an on or off sort of indicator there. The mirrors are slightly different shape, it's got a thicker edge to it. It also has a wire that sort of connects it up to the top section here. And these are also auto dimming, and they have sort of like a separate, you can see there's sort of more gold and then a silver edge, so they're auto dimming. And it has the rain sensor as well, which will be in the screen. But one of the other interesting options on this car is it has the garage link. So this system here will essentially, you can set 3 different systems, one for say your garage door, one for your gates, and one for something else. So you can have this car without the need for all the different fobs for your remote systems in your house. You can just say press 2 to open the garage, press it again to close the garage, and then number 1 to do the gate at the bottom of your drive. So that was another option. I haven't seen it in very many cars. Also this, as I said, all 3 of these have got the PCM3 touchscreen system. But this one also has, so when I pressed the disc button on the other one, it didn't really, it would have just basically ejected the disc. This one has got the inbuilt 6 CD changer, so you would be able to put 6 CDs and also 6 DVDs, because these plays DVDs as well. Stationary, you can play a DVD with Dolby 5.1 sound as well, because this one's got the Bose, as I said, so it has that same rear section with the subwoofer with the additional speakers either side. So that makes a difference. So yeah, this car was specified without universal audio interface, so what you got instead was a 12 volt, an extra 12 volt supply there. You get one as standard here, and also some was specified with another one here. This one doesn't have it, but one of the other one does, I believe, so I'll find that. Cup holders are the same. But then the steering wheel, so looking at this steering wheel, this is the multi-function optional steering wheel. So it has all the buttons to control the phone, control the radio, but also this one was specified additionally with an extra button here for steering wheel heating. So you can have a heated steering wheel as well as the heated seats, which are options on here as well. So some really nice options on all 3 really, just differently options. Now the final thing I wanted to talk about with these cars is the ability to have different headlights. So 2 of these cars have got the standard halogen headlights. So this one here, so there you can see it's got like a bulb you can see, plus a sort of a gas discharge style cover over the main headlight. And this one here is the same. So you've got that bulb, and then you've got that. And then this car here, so that's the standard headlight system. This car here has the optional headlight system, which is called PDLS. So immediately you can see this bezel is actually enclosed, so you can't see the bulb there. That one looks very similar, but it's actually rotates. So It's speed dependent and also steering wheel angle dependent. And what it does is, as you're driving, it will rotate the headlight pattern around the corner you're going to go around, so you can actually see further round the corner. So it's actually safer, but also it's by xenon rather than halogen, so it is brighter, and it does make a big difference to driving these cars at night. And a lot of people do sort of want that option as a result, because with modern day cars having such bright headlights, you kind of need bright headlights yourself. When you've got oncoming cars, you need a sort of an equivalent, and that is what the equivalent is, sort of PDLS. It's called Porsche Dynamic Light System, and that's on that red car, whereas these two have got the halogen system, which was, I think, phased out after this generation of car. For that reason, everything was sort of by xenon as standard with fixed headlights, and then PDLS with the rotating bezels. So that's essentially everything that these three cars have that's different, and that is sort of optional extras. But if you wanted to see the options of any of my cars, you can actually go to see them yourself. You can on my website. So essentially, here's the Guards Red one. So you go to the advert. It's a little while to load on my Wi-Fi in the unit here. So I have all the pictures of the car, which you can scroll through. So they're all there. Then you've got the full description. Then I have the original sales brochure from Porsche, which I'll show you in a second. But the first file I normally attach is actually a PDF, which hopefully will be quite fast to load, which has the full sort of like measurements of the car, tyre sizes, brake sizes, the year it was built, the horsepower. Then it has the sticker, which is in the front of the service book. So all my cars come with their original service book, and they have a sticker which has option codes on it. And then I've decoded them, so you can see exactly what all the options are. So for example, cruise control is there, the wind deflector, the windscreen has a grey graduated tint at the top, daylight running lights, there's that garage door opener which I showed you just above the mirror on that car, the 6-disc changer built into the PCM, that's all listed. And then I sort of break down the actual full spec of the car with standard options and all the optional extras added in. So you can see, for example, in terms of safety, it's got things like the dual front and side airbags. It's got an alarm and immobiliser. Now, all of the cars have that, but I'd like to show you everything that a car has, including standard and optional extras. So that's all listed there. Then I go through and we plug all of our cars into Porsche Diagnostics, PWIS 2 in this case. So I can look up exactly when if there's been any over revs, and generally you look for there to be no range 4, 5 and 6. And if there has been 4, 5 and 6, that they haven't occurred within the last 50 engine hours. So you can look up the total engine hours, and you can compare it to when the last occurrence in that range happened. So in this case, 1859. And you can say, well, that's over 50 engine hours ago, so that should be fine. But generally, the lower ones are all fine. Even the higher ones are okay, provided the engine's been run since and not had any issues. And then comparing the engine hours to the actual mileage, you can work out what the implied average speed the car has travelled in its life. And you're looking for around 25 to 35 miles an hour, 35 being sort of cars that are mostly motorway driven, and the lower end 25 miles an hour would be sort of like a predominantly town car. If it's out of that range, then you might need to start asking questions as, has the car had a mileage adjustment or something in the past? But using that, you can also deduce, based on this average, you do that average times by when that last occurred to figure out when it last breached that range. So the last time it was a range 1, which is just literally hitting the red line in any gear. I've calculated that is just over 51,000 miles. So it's done another 2,000 miles since, just under. Then I also ask the ECU through POS, what does it think the car is? So you look up the VIN number that is stored on the ECU and compare it to the one on the windscreen and also in the service book and also on the chassis. You also can look up the engine number and you can compare that to whatever HPI check you do, because that's registered. It's also on the V5C. And you can also look up even things like the transmission, the colour that the ECU thinks that the car is, and in this case it matches up with the code for Guards Red, L48A. On the system it actually just drops that first letter and just shows you 3. And then also the colour of the interior. So AP is one of the codes for black leather. There's a few of them, but that's one of them. And then finally I go through and when was the car registered, when was its PDI, the pre-delivery inspection. Every time it's been serviced is mapped out on the service history as well. So you can actually call up these garages even before speaking to me and just verify the service history of any car I've got for sale, because that PDF is available for any of the cars I stock. Now going back to the advert, you can also see the original Porsche brochure for this era of Boxsters, and you yourself can determine what options you would have liked. So that's another guard rail. It's got smaller wheels, but you can review exactly what was available. You can read about the engine technology, all the great stuff that Porsche did. I mean, that's a different interior colour, but it's showing you different steering wheels. It's showing you the manual gearbox and the PDK. It's highlighting there the enhanced suspension of the Boxster S. Winter tyres also, tyre pressure monitoring, how PASM works is all explained there. How the the Sport Chrono Package Plus works with PDK and also with manual. Then some of the safety features, the different brake options, different headlights, the safety features again, and then some of the different options there. I mean, it literally goes through everything. The different seat options are there, cruise control, the cup holders. So essentially you can actually learn a huge amount by just looking through this brochure, which is on my website. And it's what I make sure of, there's all the colours that I've already highlighted, all the different wheels, seats, steering wheels, sports exhaust, and then even exclusive options. So that one there has got body coloured wheels to match, yeah, the bodywork. There was a telephone available, and then it has all the specs that I show on my PDF, but it's got a few more as well. So even like leads to how big the boots are and things like that. And then this car I haven't actually uploaded the video for yet, so I'll show you a different one. So I'll show you a different red Boxster. On the advert, it's about halfway down, I also show you a walk around video, so you can assess, almost do a virtual viewing.
Hi, this is Red from Sportscars. We've got a 981, amazing with the sports exhaust, especially without the roof.
So you can actually sort of study the cars even before giving me a call, and you'll know quite a bit of the car before even speaking to me. And as I said, that's every single car. So even this 981 Boxster, it has the PDF and it has the sales brochure of that specific Boxster era. So hopefully you've learned something about options in this video, but also how you can sort of research yourself using resources on my website, possibly elsewhere as well. I try to be as transparent and open as possible when selling these cars, so you know exactly what's on them, what isn't on them as well, and how they've been serviced, how they've been looked after, have they been thrashed or not. In these cases they haven't been thrashed, but you can check the over-res for yourself on my PDFs, so you know that everything is as it should be, the VINs all tie up, the ECU is working correctly, all of that stuff that is appropriate due diligence on high performance sports cars like these Porsches that I sell. thank you very much for watching. I hope you found it useful. Have a great day.